I've been called too much of a positive person, too much of an enthusiastic person or happy person, which all comes under that one umbrella of being too positive. Also too much of an independent person or ambitious often.
Perfect. And can you tell us some anecdotes about when you've been called these things and how it made you feel?
Yeah. So recently, actually, the most recent anecdote would be a situation with my friend who was going through very difficult times. She's much older than me, so she's much more experienced, and I was actually quite surprised when she told me that I'm being too positive in this whole situation, while I was trying to support her and really be of a good friend and show her that there's always a silver lining in everything that we do, and there is no need to be negative about things. And yeah, she clearly told me that I'm being too positive, and she was not welcoming my comments or feedback or help nor advice. And it just felt a little bit off track to begin with, because you come with good intentions, you want to help someone, and when someone is actually kind of trying to knock you down by telling you that something that could be useful for her is a bad thing and she's not welcoming it, it was a bit of a knockdown.
And was she saying you were too positive in general, or just about that particular situation?
Yeah, so actually from this particular person, I've been receiving this comment quite a few times already. So it's been a reoccurring thing. And not just from that person, but I've also been told before in my life, and especially in business settings, that I'm also too enthusiastic about things, and the way I express this enthusiasm can be a little informal in settings that are meant to be serious and business-like. So it very much links to that part of me being positive and happy, and as I told you before, it's about really expressing who I am and allowing myself to connect to my emotions as much as I can, and really be free with it. It was my boss, my last boss in the company I used to work for, and it was a business meeting that we had, internal business meeting, and I was just, of course she didn't say that directly to me during the meeting, she told me that after, that I was a little bit too energetic and enthusiastic about the things, and I should hold my horses a little bit more. Literally, that's what she said. Yeah. And again, it was, I normally don't understand this kind of comments, because to me it just, there is one message in this: don't be yourself, because that's not welcomed in this situation. So try not to be yourself, which to me it's totally against my values of authenticity.
And you left that job in the end, and was that one of the reasons?
Definitely, it was one of the reasons. And in general, it was very limiting, the way I was treated there, and precisely for those reasons of not being supported in the way I was actually feeling and the way I was with myself. And that was definitely big reason why I left.
And in terms of, I mean, it makes me sort of cringe to say it, but in terms of like results in a business company, like you were obviously hired for a certain reason, because you are the way you are, and you are you. And so not being allowed to be that way, did that hinder your idea of, because I mean you have ways of getting results for the company that are probably different to theirs, and do you think that you weren't allowed to sort of exercise those, and therefore that the company lost out because you couldn't be yourself, or how did it impact your work basically?
Right. So on a personal level, I had my own agenda of how I was delivering my projects, and that was never criticized because I got the results in the end. But I think there were just situations and moments when you were just really the things were pinpointed at you, and it does knock you down on your confidence level as well, right?
Of course.
So I wouldn't say it affected my work and the results I was delivering in the end, but it definitely affected me personally, and my whole definition of authenticity, and really what can I be and what I shouldn't be, and if there is even that thing of not being able to be who you are. So generally what it did to me, it just reconfirmed me in my belief that I want to be independent in what I'm doing, and I want to set my own remits and permissions of how I want to be. And I don't want anyone to tell me what is right and what is wrong. So it's just reconfirmed that in me, to be honest, which today benefited me in a big way and really contributed to the fact that I am independent and I'm self-employed, and I can behave in the way that I want to behave, and no one can limit that in any way. And you know, it proved to be successful because in the line of work that I'm currently doing, it's all about authenticity, and this is what I evoke and encourage people to be.
Other women like you who have been told similar things, like what kind of advice would you give them?
I think it's about first understanding your needs and what do you really want, right? If you really want to invest in the place you're in and you want to work around that environment and you want to improve your relationships with the people, try to strike a balance between what they also require from you and what is it that you want. Never give up on your needs, but the balance is about really understanding where the balance will be, right? So and having that open conversation with the people you're working with. Never limit yourself, because that's just self-destructive, essentially. This will lead to a certain level of self-destruction. So never limit yourself. Always try to speak up your mind and always be yourself in any situations you're in. But be strategic about it as well, maybe in the way you express it or the way you communicate it. But first and foremost, be clear to yourself about what you want and how you want to be.
And how have your too muches been your powers? If you go through them and say, how have they been powerful to you?
So I think the positive mindset that I've nourished for a long time and I've developed probably is the only reason why I'm doing, or the key reason at least, why I'm doing what I'm doing. And also the fact that I was always independent and I followed that need in me. And I'm now currently self-employed and doing my own business and having a free time and managing my time. Positivity helped because in those situations, especially if you are transitioning career, you have to have faith, you have to believe that you can do it, and you have to be positive about it. And you have to see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? But to be able to see that light, you need to want to see the light. You need to have the desire to see the light. And I think being positive and always looking at the bright side will always lead you to that, right? Seeing things in a different light. And also, you know, I've been through hard times as well in this time, and often I've been to situations that were extremely disheartening, that were telling me, you know, the message was you can't do it, or you won't be able to do it, or it's going to be hard, or you will never reach the level you want to be. And if I was not positive about those comments, or if I didn't react in a positive way or in a constructive way in that situation, then it would have been harder or slower for me to, you know, it would take me longer to get where I am. So definitely I see my positivity and enthusiasm about things and my independence as superpowers, big superpowers.
Yeah, amazing.
It's part of my DNA now.
Yeah.
And I'm not getting rid of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the advice section again, you're saying, you know, don't limit yourself. What are some practical, or not practical, but just ways that young women could potentially do that? I mean, is there...
Yes, absolutely. So first, you know, it starts with our thoughts. So it's about managing our thoughts. And if you can identify that there is a thought that is not in synchrony with what you are seeing or what you are hearing, so there is a dissonance between what you're thinking about the situation and what is happening in that situation, first realize that there is a dissonance. So there is something that you possibly disagree with. Then articulate that in your head. That's the first step. And then the second step is vocalize it. But also vocalize it in a very subtle way, as much as you can, right? So you're not going to hurt anyone, but you are still going to vocalize it. You're going to articulate what you think, and always how you think will be connected to how you feel. So also vocalizing your feelings and articulating your feelings is definitely the way to do it. And when you ask me how to do it, the answer is by doing it. Is that simple? And you can practice in situations that are less stressful or maybe more comfortable, and you can actually vocalize how you feel. For example, you're with a group of friends and they all want to watch a movie, and you want to go for a walk. Don't just give in to that. At least express your need. At least say that, oh, you would love to go for a walk, if that's an option. And if it's not, that's fine, but at least you vocalize your needs. And it's practicing those thoughts and feelings, expressing those thoughts and feelings in a very small situations will take you to more serious situations slowly in time, right? When you will feel more comfortable to actually express your needs and feelings and how and essentially who you are. So the message to little Patrycja would be: believe in yourself. Believe in yourself before anyone else can do. And don't be afraid of the unknown. Don't be afraid of not knowing where you're going, not knowing who you will be, who you will become. Be patient. It will happen, and you will find out the answers. If you don't have the answers, that means you're not meant to have the answers. And keep on smiling about life, and keep on enjoying life as you are, and keep on enjoying those simple moments of the life you're living, and don't let anyone stop you from doing that. And if you feel trapped and controlled, accept this life as it is for now, because it will change, and you will have your taste of freedom and independence and joy when it comes.